And we now begin the bulletin with the latest on heavy rains and floods currently ravaging central Vietnam. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính has issued another official dispatch today, November 3rd, calling for swift and effective action to overcome the aftermath of the recent floods in the central region.
Yes, and the Prime Minister commended the efforts of military forces, police, local authorities, and residents for their strong and effective disaster response. He also instructed ministries and localities to urgently reach isolated areas, ensure food, water, medicine, and essential supplies for all affected residents, stressing that no one should be left hungry, cold, or without shelter. The Vietnamese Prime Minister further requested quick repairs to damaged homes, temporary housing for displaced families, and rapid restoration of key infrastructure, including electricity, clean water, telecommunications, and transportation. Relevant ministries have been assigned specific tasks to assess and address the damage, ensuring a timely recovery and reporting to the Prime Minister on any issues beyond local authority.
In Hue City, floodwaters have returned as heavy rain and rising river levels caused widespread inundation overnight from November 2nd into Monday morning. While low-lying areas are still recovering from previous floods, many streets across the city are underwater again, marking the third major flood in just 1 week. Authorities have set up barriers to block traffic in deeply flooded areas. In downtown Hue, many residents haven't finished cleaning up from the last flood and now face renewed damage. In mountainous communes, landslides are becoming increasingly severe, prompting emergency evacuations of households. Heavy rainfall, coupled with increased water discharge from hydropower reservoirs, has pushed river levels above alarm level 3, worsening conditions for local communities. With no sign of the rain easing, Hue's Department of Education has suspended classes citywide on November 3rd for safety. Local authorities and rescue forces remain on alert and continue deploying response measures to protect residents in the coming days.
Now, not just in Hue, Quang Tri province is also experiencing torrential rain and widespread flooding, forcing hundreds of residents to evacuate. Rescue teams are currently searching for a woman swept away by floodwaters while returning home from work. The victim from Zaza Hamlet in Huong Hiệp commune was crossing a submerged spillway despite warnings when the strong current carried her away. Flooding has been reported in 96 locations across the province, affecting nearly 4,000 households and more than 11,000 residents. Over 500 families have been moved to safety as authorities maintain round-the-clock watch in high-risk zones. Schools have been forced to close. Several major roads, including National Highway 12A, remain underwater, disrupting traffic to Cha Lo International Border Gate. 7 people have been confirmed dead, 1 remains missing, and 4 others have been injured.
In Phuoc Thanh commune, Da Nang City, local police and civil defense forces successfully rescued a man trapped inside his house after it collapsed in a landslide on Sunday afternoon. The victim, a 38-year-old man, was pulled out safely after nearly an hour of continuous effort and suffered only minor injuries. The landslide buried 6 houses, but 17 residents escaped in time. Authorities have evacuated 20 households nearby from danger zones and set up warning signs and watch posts to ensure safety.
Now, continuing with the landslides situation in Da Nang City, authorities in several mountainous areas are mobilizing heavy machinery and manpower to clear landslides and reach thousands of residents isolated for days of torrential rain. Let's take a look at the aftermath of the landslides and communities' efforts to overcome these challenges.
Nearly 100 major and minor landslides have cut off key roads, leaving entire villages inaccessible.
We're completely isolated, no electricity, no signal, and no way to move in or out.
We've been working day and night to reopen the route so people can move again.
In Cha Tập commune, by the evening of November the 2nd, task forces and local residents has cleared roads to residential areas and remote villages. The sustained efforts have opened many routes into remote villages, easing pressure on utilities vehicle and local residents.
We have mobilized all available machinery to open roads and deliver food supplies.
We already have contingency plans and have urged locals to stock up on essentials.
Despite these efforts, prolonged isolation continues to strain daily life of thousands of residents, and renewed rainfall could worsen the situation.
In Biming County in Quang Tri Province, local authorities used a pulley system to send food and medicine across the river to more than 1,200 residents stranded after the Kaesung Bridge collapsed on Sunday. Crews are working on temporary bridge and reinforcing the damaged structure to allow vehicles to pass and deliver essential goods. The 12-meter bridge, built in 2006, partially collapsed after floodwaters eroded its eastern abutment, cutting off all access to the commune.
Now, in other important updates, 2 fishermen were rescued after their boat sank off the coast of Cà Mau on Sunday afternoon. The vessel went down about 2 nautical miles southwest of Kinh Hội Estuary in Khánh Lâm Commune after strong waves and high winds caused the hull to break and take on water. Border guards and local fishermen reached the site within an hour of receiving the distressed coal and safely brought both crew members ashore. Their health is now stable, though rough seas have delayed recovery of the vessel.
Patrols and crackdowns have intensified in Vietnam's southwestern waters as maritime law enforcement responds to the Prime Minister's Directive number 198, marking the peak months of action against illegal, unreported and unregulated or IUU fishing. This sea area remains one of the country's hotspots for IUU violations and also has the largest fishing fleet in Vietnam.
Day or night, even a minor irregularity detected in a vessel's identification number on the VMS monitoring system requires the fishing boat to stop for inspection. On Saturday night, Region 5 Fisheries Surveillance Forces detected a fishing vessel over 15 meters long operating without a monitoring device and lacking registration documents. The vessel's identification number had been removed from the system for 3 years.
The boat owners say I've only been out for a few days and that someone would bring the papers later. I know I broke the rules, so I have to accept it.
According to authorities, this is a serious violation. The area's diverse fishing practices have also led to frequent disputes over fishing grounds and operations outside permitted zones. Alongside penalties, officers are also conducting awareness campaigns. In October alone, Region 5 Fisheries Surveillance inspected nearly 300 fishing vessels. Although the violation rate has fallen to around 10 to 15%, the region remains the country's highest risk area for illegal incursions into foreign waters.
When conducting inspections to prevent potential violations, we extract data from the Vessel Monitoring System, VMS. Fishing boats that operate frequently near border areas or lose connection repeatedly for long periods are subject to closer scrutiny.
In addition to the vast offshore areas, many coastal zones and small islands are where some fishing vessels intentionally switch off their VMS devices to slip away and transport crew to illegal foreign fishing grounds.
From over 100 IUU fishing violations in previous years, the number has dropped to just over a dozen cases in 2025. This determination marks an important step toward completely ending illegal fishing activities in Vietnam's waters.